views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Open, the one and only show that opens the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I'm your host, Daren, Jaime, and today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough, as well as across New York City. Coming up on today's show, we go front and center talking about Medicare enrollment and how to choose the right plan to fit your health needs, lifestyle, and budget. And afterwards, we'll talk to an organization that's providing caring support and helping children and families rise above adversity. A little later on, we'll also learn about a festival that's highlighting films and filmmakers with change as their agenda. And then we'll discuss the recent settlement agreement for blind individuals. More details on that a little bit later on in the show as we focus on the disabled. And then we'll speak with the CEO and co-founder of WoodSpoon on how they're empowering home chefs and the food industry workers. And then finally, we'll introduce you to a not-for-profit organization that's dedicated to making a quality Catholic school education a viable choice for low-income families. So we got a full show ahead. Stay with us. All this and much more is heading your way. Right now, we're officially open. Welcome to Open. I am Daren Jaime, and today is Wednesday, October 13th, and you're watching Open, a live and interactive program that brings the Bronx to New York City straight to your TV sets. We also want to encourage you to watch on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and we welcome our viewers as Open is being broadcast live simultaneously on the MNN channel. You can stay connected to us on our social media platforms at BronxNet TV, and of course, our website at bronxnet.org. Well, a lot has been going on throughout the course of the past week. We'll take you through a couple of things with our Bronx updates. We start off with transit news. The MTA held public input sessions on congestion pricing. Now, the concept of congestion pricing is to charge a toll on vehicles that are south of 60th Street in Manhattan. 2 years ago, the state of New York passed a law requiring the fee to be charged. After much delay, recently, public hearings began to help shape the parameters of the program's operational design. Now, the MTA's Deputy Chief Operating Officer, Allison De Sereno, says at a public meeting, the rates were expected to range from $9 to $23 for passenger vehicles using the Easy Pass toll system with possible discounts overnight or during off-peak hours. Now, the agency's federally required environmental review is expected to take about 16 months. Of course, we'll keep you updated on this story. All right, in other news, Bronx Healthy Start Partnership teamed up with Assembly Member of District 79, Chantel Jackson, providing resources and information to Bronx parents of infants. Our Bronx reporter Ashley Tiffany was there, brings us a story right now.
It was a stroll for the movement Bronx Babies Matter and to highlight September for Infant Mortality Awareness Month.
Every baby deserves to be here with you all.
Sleep-related incidents are the leading cause of death in babies up to 12 months, and the Bronx has the highest infant mortality rate in the city.
We are here because infant mortality is a blight against our nation. It is a blight in our community, and for our borough of the Bronx, we have some of the highest infant mortality rates. Although the records are showing that the rates are down, when we look at communities such as East Tremont, and in Community Board 6 and Community Board 12 in particular, they have some of the highest numbers of deaths.
The white balloon symbolizes the 10 infants who died last year in the Bronx. To address this health crisis, Bronx Healthy Start Partnership teamed up with Assembly member of the Bronx, Chantel Jackson, to raise awareness to Bronx parents.
Even if you have more than one child, you may not know everything there is to keeping a child safe. And so it's important for us to continuously learn and to continue to have resources available for us.
The annual event provided life-changing information and tips for raising infants, like how they should sleep in their cribs and more.
We want to make sure that they're in a car seat when they're driving and safely strapped in. And when they're sleeping, that they're sleeping on their backs with nothing in their sleeping area. We want our babies to wake up once we put them down to sleep.
We are here to help because there's a lot of the kids, like babies, who are dying before they even turn 2 months, So this was a very important event for me to be at because I'm on the board with them and we're trying to make aware, get the word out for these parents. There is help out there.
To learn more about the resources Bronx Healthy Start Partnership provides and upcoming events, visit einsteinmed.org and search Bronx Healthy Start Partnership. Reporting for BronxNet, Ashley Tiffany.
And thank you, Ashley. That is all the time we have for our Bronx updates, but we want you to stay with us. We do have more open coming up right after this.
If you're struggling to afford your internet bills during the pandemic, there's a temporary government program that may be able to help. It's called the Emergency Broadband Benefit, and it provides up to $50 monthly discount on your broadband bill to qualifying households. Find more information about the program, including if you qualify and how to enroll, at fcc.gov/broadbandbenefit, or call toll-free at 833-511-0311. That's 833-511-0311.
And welcome back to the show. Medicare is an important health asset for many seniors and others who are requiring assistance with health insurance in the United States. Now, Healthfirst is committed to providing Medicare enrollment assistance in any way that it possibly can. Joining us now and sharing more details, we're pleased to have the Senior Vice President of Medicare at Healthfirst, Jen Cohen-Smith. And Jen, good to have you with us.
It is great to be here. Thank you, Daren.
Important conversation to have. And, when it comes to Medicare, a lot of conversation and sometimes a lot of misunderstanding. So just want to be able to walk our viewers through a little bit and share a little bit about Medicare. So I'll begin first with who is actually eligible for Medicare?
Yeah, it's a good question. Generally, anyone over the age of 65 years old is eligible for Medicare. Also, some younger people with disabilities and people with end-stage renal disease are eligible. But broadly, it's a over 65 population, and there's over 200,000 of those folks here in the Bronx.
Wow. And so when we talk about Medicare, having it is important. And also for someone who wants to get it, they always ask the question about cost. What is the cost association with Medicare?
Yeah, Medicare Advantage can be offered and is generally offered in the Bronx at zero premium. So meaning you don't have to pay anything extra to have Medicare Advantage. With that said, there could be co-pays and cost shares that you'd want to make sure you understand and take into account. But generally, getting the Medicare Advantage coverage would cost you nothing extra.
Mm-hmm. And for a person who decides that I want to enroll, is there a particular time period that they have to be able to get into Medicare?
Daren, I'm glad you asked because it's the annual election period and it starts on October 15th, just a few days away, and it runs until December 7th, so October 15th to December 7th every year. And this is the time for folks to either enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, to switch Medicare Advantage plans, or to drop out of a Medicare Advantage plan should they want to for any reason. If, though, you're turning 65 at some point out of that October to December window, you'll have 3 months before your 65th birthday and 3 months after your 65th birthday to enroll in Medicare Advantage for the first time.
We hear so much, from government, and we follow it right here on the show about cuts to Medicare, changes involving Medicare. So as we're in this new year, well, getting close to the end of this year, actually, last quarter, talk to us about what we can talk about with regards to 2021 and any changes and things that people need to be made aware of.
Yeah, it's a good question. And to a large degree, Any changes to the benefits from 2021 to 2022 will depend on which insurance carrier you have Medicare Advantage through. So everyone who has Medicare Advantage today should have received in the mail what's called an annual notice of change letter. And that letter will describe in detail for you any benefit changes that you would be experiencing should you stay with that plan on January 1st of 2022. More broadly in the market, though, there are some exciting changes happening in Medicare Advantage that you might want to take into account when you are considering whether or not to change plans or stay with your plan. For example, the over-the-counter card, the OTC card it's oftentimes called, is being offered in new and expanded ways. You can, at Healthfirst, for example, you can internet services in your house. We learned that 30% of seniors don't have internet today, and we really wanted to make that more accessible to folks because it's so important for accessibility of care and staying connected to your friends and family. There are also, enhanced benefits broadly out in the market around dental care and vision care and other ways that you can use your over-the-counter card, like for exercise equipment, for example.
And so when you have Medicare, I think a lot of people wonder, what are actually the benefits? What's actually covered under Medicare? Because having it is important, but also knowing what you have as a part of it is equally more important.
Yes, and that's a really good point. If you are covered under original Medicare, which is Medicare Parts A and B, many services are covered, like inpatient hospital services, services in a skilled nursing facility, hospice care, some doctor services, some outpatient services, for example, some medical supplies. So many, but not all of your Medicare or your healthcare coverage needs are covered under original Medicare. When you move into a Medicare Advantage plan, on the other hand, you will, for the most part, have additional benefits available to you. Things like dental coverage, vision coverage, hearing aids and hearing tests. Again, the over-the-counter card that could make all kinds of things accessible to you, the internet, health and fitness equipment, healthy foods. You may even be able to use the card at a farmer's market, for example. So you can really get a nice suite of additional benefits by signing up for a Medicare Advantage plan that aren't otherwise available to you through original Medicare.
Yeah, and when you have persons who are using Medicare, obviously they know their benefits, and sometimes it's hard not to, or let me rephrase it again. When you have a person that has Medicare, they have their benefits, but sometimes it's hard to basically keep up and to follow exactly what's going on, the changes that are happening, the new things. So how does a person, considering mostly of them are 65 and up, how can a person really stay up to date and connected with the rapid changes and the benefits and all that Medicare has to offer?
Yeah, there are a lot of great resources out there. Healthfirst has a website, hfmedicarelearnmore.com. And on this website, there are various videos. There's a Medicare education booklet you can download. Those two things will just teach you broadly about all things about Medicare. What's changing? What do you need to know? How do you sign up? Also within that website are guides and tools to help you determine which healthcare benefit package is best for you and your health needs. Another great way to keep in touch is to stop into the community office. We happen to have one on East Fordham Road, 25 East Fordham Road in Morris Heights. And you can ask any questions you have there, make some friends and keep in touch with what's going on. And also, if you can download the mobile app, there's a member app that most Medicare Advantage plans will offer that will help keep you up to date on your benefits and how your services are being used.
Well, Jen, been very informative. Certainly, I think people have gotten a little bit more acclimated with Medicare. And of course, our job is to get people connected with more information. And so we'll be able to do that in just a few seconds. But thank you so much for being with us here on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I want to let our viewers know also that if you want more information, what we can encourage you to do is visit the website. And the website is healthfirst.org. And then you can also follow them on social media at Healthfirst NY. We are taking a quick break, and we thank Jen for joining us. But guess what? We are not out of show. Stay with us. Open will continue coming up right after this. Welcome back to the show. Rising Ground is an organization providing children and families with the resources and skills needed to help them rise above adversity and positively direct their lives. Now, founded as an orphanage in 1831, Rising Ground has been at the forefront of evolving community needs. Joining us now and sharing more details about the organization and the great work that they do is Rising Ground's Vice President of the Family Foster Care Program, Debra McCall, and the president of the Foster Parent Association and a member of the co-parenting program, Lehra Brooks. And glad to have you both here on the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Debra, I'll start with you. For somebody who may not be so familiar with Rising Ground, give us a little bit of background into your organization before we go further.
Yes, sure. Well, as you had noted, Rising Ground is a nonprofit human service organization that has been around for over 150 years. And what we do is we work with children and families. Foster care is one of our programs. We also have a family preventive program. We also have schools for children with emotional behavioral problems. We have a educational program where we offer services to children also with emotional problems. So we're a huge agency. We have developmental disabilities program. So we are a large social service agency. And just as you said, we work with families to help them rise against adversities.
Yeah. And so, Lehra, a little bit about the work that you do in the foster care program.
I work closely with the foster parents and also birth parents so that we can have strong skills, be insightful to the changes that are happening every day, especially with this COVID environment, and giving each other support so that we can provide the best services for our children in care.
Yeah. Debra, I mean, when you talk about a foster family, I think sometimes we take it for granted. We say, okay, a foster kid goes into a family and that's it. But there's so much that actually is encompassed into really migrating that foster child into the family into the life of that foster child. And I know that that's a part of what you do in terms of bridging the gap. So share with us a little bit how you nurture these families and get them blended to become one.
Absolutely. Well, there's a few things that happens. First of all, we have what we call our partner parents, okay, which is Laura Brooks is really a big advocate, and she's a part of that particular program. And we also have our co-parenting program. So what happens is, yes, when a child is placed in foster care, we like to have the relationship continue with the parent, the birth parent, because ultimately the goal is always to try to have that child be able to return to their natural birth families. So we offer a lot of services together, working together with the parent and the foster parent to help them to achieve and learn things about the child that the foster parent might not know, because the parent, of course, knows more about their child than anyone else. So the idea is to have them work together to be supportive of the parent, sort of like a mentoring to help that parent engage in services so that they can be reunited. Our partner parent also works with other foster parents that are new to a program, are new to having children in their home as a foster child for the first time. So what they do is they mentor that foster parent and tell them what to expect as a new foster parent and caring for a child that's coming into care. Particularly, all of our children, of course, are affected by trauma. So when a child comes into their home, of course, you know, we want our foster parents to understand what that looks like and how to work with that child that's in care.
Yeah. And I know, Lehra, you know, you're the president of the Foster Parent Association, and that's a support group I know. Talk to us about the work that goes on there and how you help families through the process.
Well, we provide monthly themes, and we meet once a month on the third Saturday of the month. We also are on call daily. So whether it's night or day, if there's a problem, we could be reached so that we can give that immediate support. We look at things that are coming, like there's been back to school. So if children need book bags, if they need certain types of clothing, if they, just different things, whatever's around. And most importantly, to work with our foster parents to identify in their communities resources like after school programs, recreation centers, where children, because if you can receive a child and immediately have a youth support like that, it helps that child feel more connected to that community. It helps them adapt better to the home that they're in, and they feel like they're part of one, and that gives them some stability and helps the job get done. So these are the things that we try to identify, and there are many programs out there, and DOE has partnered with a lot of these programs. So they're giving service, let's say for children up to 11 or 12 years old, they can be in programs to 6 o'clock in the evening. And then there's a night program for teens, and these programs are free. So it's to identify these resources all over within the 5 boroughs, so that Rising Ground children can, youth in care, can get the most support. And this helps this child actually acclimate to the community, and they do better.
And can you share a little bit? I know that you also have another program. It's called Treatment Foster Care Oregon program. What's that about?
Well, actually, the Treatment Foster Care Oregon program is no longer a program that we're working with. That contract ended, but now we just have therapeutic foster care, which is therapeutic family foster care program. The Oregon one was an evidence-based model. The difference is that this is not an evidence-based model per se with a particular organization from Oregon. But Treatment Foster Care program basically works with children that have behavioral and emotional needs. So these are your children that might be showing antisocial behaviors in the community, or acting out in ways that would not be what we would say as a normal child might look like. So we offer additional services to these particular children to show them how to have better social skills, particularly in the community. So you might have a child that's cursing or fighting. So we assign what we call social therapists to do with them, to work closely with them, to take them out on outings and show them better skills to, better be able to work in an environment, opposed to cursing someone out because they stepped on your shoe or something like that, or having an outburst. So we teach them better social skills that can engage them to be better in the community and at home and in the foster home.
And really quickly before we go, I should have asked this, and it was bad on my part. If somebody wants to be a foster parent, how do they go about doing that?
They can go to our website, and they can contact us at risingground.org, or they can also call our recruiter, and I will just give you that phone number quickly. Our recruiter, his name is Abel, and he's always available to take a call from anyone. So I have to just put on my little glasses so I can see the number.
That's okay.
So you can call us at 914-462-1371, or you can go to our website again, risingground.org, and it will say want to become a foster parent, and you can click on that link, and then you can email us as well.
Well, thank you, Debra and Lehra, and for Rising Ground and the work that you're doing in uniting families. I'll take it from here in terms of giving more information again. Tell you that you can visit their website at risingground.org. Of course, you can also call them at 914-462-1371 if you are interested in becoming a foster parent. We'll have more show. Don't go anywhere. Open is coming up right after this.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at BronxNet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
And welcome back. Bronx Community College will be hosting their first annual Social Justice Matters Film Festival. The 3-day inaugural film festival will be held online, highlighting national and international films, as well as filmmakers with change as their agenda. Joining us to share more details is the professor and coordinator of liberal arts and sciences at BCC, and she's also the producer of Brightness of Moon, part number 1 and 2, Debra Gonsher. And Debra, good to have you here with us on Open.
Thanks. Nice being here.
Yes. And so for our viewers, an opportunity to have a chance to find out more about how social justice is really going to be at the forefront of this upcoming film festival. Talk to us about why you decided to choose social justice as the narrative.
Well, I need to give credit where credit is due. And I'm a filmmaker myself, and the focus of my films is social justice, but this was really the idea of the provost, Sandre Rapolo. So I never take somebody else's credit away from them, but he wanted to focus on this. I think it's a focus that many people at the City University are very involved with. And he spoke to me about it because he knew that my documentaries in the past had all been on various social justice issues. So he came up with the idea, and he asked me to help him and really manage and help him create this really unique film festival.
Yeah, unique of sorts. And so as it is unique, talk about what people can expect who partake in the film festival.
Well, I think it's really surprising, and surprising in a good way. It's the first year, and we received about 70 films to screen. And the films were from around the country and around the world. And when I say around the world, I really mean around the world. We had films, and we have films showing from Australia. So that's, and one of the filmmakers is actually on one of the panels. So we're really having a really eclectic range. And the issues that are being discussed are so varied. We're talking about and looking at the penalties for women in El Salvador if they have an abortion. And so they're sent to prison for 20 to 40 years. We're looking at the taking of land in Uganda by corporations. We're looking at trials in the United States. We're looking at issues of refugees and immigrants in Australia. We're really across the board, higher education and the bias against persons of color. It's really an amazingly eclectic mix.
Yeah, and when you say that and you really just look at it at heart, people think automatically when you think social justice, we think of the things germane to us right here in the United States. But the reality is there's so much social injustice going on around the world that we don't sometimes even have time to focus on what's going on around the world for what's happening here. But your film festival seems to open the door for people to have an opportunity to see what's going on worldwide.
I think it really does. And yet there are issues, of course, that are right here in the Bronx. So we have a wonderful little film from a student from Hostos, because we have a student category. And it's just a piece of animation of about 1 minute and 45 seconds. And it's about DACA, a DACA card, and what it's like to be a student who's a DACA recipient. So we have those things right here. We have other films from the southern part of the United States. And as I said, we have a wonderful international film called Endgame, which couldn't be more relevant. It's about sexual abuse in sports. And that was shot in 6 countries around the world. Well, so, which shows you that sexual abuse in sports is certainly not only in the United States, but is a problem worldwide.
Yeah, a real worldwide problem. Talk to me a little bit about also the film festival, having the opportunity to flesh things out in a panel discussion. So in addition to being able to see the film, there'll also be a panel that people can be able to participate in.
So there are actually two panels. One is really focused on social advocacy, and that's being held on Saturday. It's live, and people can log on via Zoom, and then it's going to be recorded. So if people can't make it, they can certainly partake. And then on Sunday at noon, and we adapted that time for our Australian filmmaker actually, because noon our time will be midnight in Australia where she lives. And that's a film called Ask the Filmmaker. And it's really designed for people they may be beginning filmmakers, they may be more experienced. We'll be really talking about everything from pre-production to production to issues of distribution. How do you get your film seen? How do you get your film known? So anyone can come and ask a question of the filmmaker. And that's something that I'll be actually moderating. And then a faculty member from Lehman, because both Lehman and Hostos are partnering with Bronx Community College on this event. So a professor from Lehman, Eileen Markey, who's a journalist, will be moderating the panel on Saturday about social justice advocacy.
Amazing. Well, I want to tell you, thank you so much for being with us. I think it's going to look forward to people can look forward to a great and enlightening film festival, as you said, unique of sorts, and hope all goes well. Debra, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Just a reminder that it starts on Friday, so people can buy tickets and then stream the films whenever they want. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday at 5 o'clock. We will be giving out the prizes to the winning films. So stay tuned.
All righty, Debra, thanks a lot. Well, I want to let people know too, if you want more information, don't hesitate, visit the website bcc.cuny.edu/Bronx Social Justice Matters Film Festival. And there you can find out more information. We encourage you, don't go anywhere. We still have more show. Don't go anywhere. Open's coming up right after this. And welcome back to the show. In recent news, a settlement agreement was reached for blind individuals. People who are blind and use screen readers will now have independent access to life-saving information offered by NY Alert, New York State's mass notification system. And joining us to tell more details is the staff attorney at Disability Rights Advocates, Chloe Holzman. And Chloe, good to have you.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, talk to me a little bit about what this settlement actually means for those who are blind.
Sure. So just to take a step back for a minute, New York has a service called New York Alert, which is a mass notification system you mentioned that people can sign up for to receive emergency notifications about all kinds of things like storms, natural disasters, hazardous conditions, transportation alerts, health alerts, nuclear power plant alerts. And up until the settlement, it wasn't possible for people who are blind and use screen reader technology to be able to access the New York Alert website and sign up independently for alerts and configure their settings or just be able to use the site. And so now we're really pleased that we have an agreement that's going to bring access to this really critical emergency service.
Yeah, that's great to have, but I want to ask the question about how much of an uphill battle was this for you really to come across the finish line?
Well, we're really pleased that we were able to go into settlement negotiations with the state almost immediately when we filed the case. And so I'm happy to say that they also recognize that this was the right way to resolve this. And so I would say comparatively, this case wasn't as grueling in terms of litigation as some disability rights cases can be. And so I want to recognize the state for doing the right thing and reaching this agreement so that everybody can have access to this service.
Yeah, and for many people, they're not really aware of some of the challenges those in the disability and the disabled community face. Can you share with us a little bit about what are some of the challenges that you're fighting for that maybe the public can become more aware about?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so my organization, Disability Rights Advocates, is a nonprofit law firm that's based in California, and we have a New York office. I'm a staff attorney here in the New York office, and we do work nationwide to advance the rights of people with disabilities primarily through impact litigation. And so that's bringing disability rights cases under the Americans with Disabilities Act and other federal and state and local laws that protect people with disabilities. And we've brought cases in all kinds of different spheres. So improving access to education, healthcare, employment, transportation. We have a number of cases now against the MTA trying to make the subway system accessible here in New York. So housing, voting, we're working on all different kinds of fronts, and there's challenges on all of those fronts.
Yeah. When we talk about those challenges, obviously they're few, I mean, they're many. And for those who are watching right now, I mean, I think there are people who are saying, listen, how can I become more involved in advocating for those who are disabled? Because sometimes the public really just doesn't know. So how can the public play a part in advocating for disabled rights?
That's a great question. And so I would encourage anyone who's interested in the work that my organization is doing to check out our website, which is dralegal.org, dralegal.org. And so there's information there about the cases that we bring and the kinds of work we do. We do other kinds of education and advocacy work as well. And of course, there's a very rich, diverse community of disability rights activists here in New York and across the country. And so contacting us, I guess, is a starting point, but there's all different ways. I mean, for example, our plaintiff in this New York Alert case, one of our plaintiffs is an organization called the American Council of the Blind of New York. And so that's one example of an organization that's a member organization that works locally here to help support and advance the rights of people with disabilities. And there's many others like it that work throughout the New York region to help support and advance people's rights.
Yeah. Can you share with us a little bit about the risk involved? Because with this particular settlement, if it didn't take place, from what I understand, it definitely puts the disabled really at a high level of risk.
Sure. Well, it's the kind of situation where everybody is at risk, I think, as we've seen, especially recently with the pandemic, with the recent storms and floods that have hit our region. It's, I think really highlighted how important it is for people, the public, to have access to real-time information about dangers that are happening and crises that are happening. But particularly for people who are blind, it may be that they're particularly vulnerable in terms of having disruptions to their transportation routes or the ways that they access getting around. Just like all of us, relying on public transportation, want real-time information about when there's a disruption. That's the same for people who are blind. And that's why we're really glad that now they're no longer left out of getting these alerts that everyone else has had access to.
Well, it's been great talking to you. I want to bring you back. Hopefully you get an opportunity to share a little bit so we can talk about how the disabled has actually been affected during this COVID-19 pandemic. I think it's a worthy conversation, but we're out of time now. But thank you so much for being with us, Chloe Holzman.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, I want to let you know if you want more information, we encourage you, visit their website, dralegal.org, and then also follow them on social media at dralegal. We do have more show coming up, so please don't go anywhere. Open continues coming up right after this. And welcome back to the show. WoodSpoon is a community-based marketplace connecting local chefs with customers who are actually craving homemade food. Now, the company provides entrepreneurial empowerment for home chefs, many of whom who've lost their jobs during the pandemic, to continue to sharing their love for food with other people. Sharing with us now is a little bit about the details is the CEO and co-founder of WoodSpoon, Oren Saar. And Owen, good to have you.
Hey, nice to be here.
So, Oren, for somebody who doesn't know about WoodSpoon, I mean, very exciting. Share with us how WoodSpoon operates.
So the way we operate is pretty simple, actually. If you ever use any other food delivery service like DoorDash, Caviar, Uber Eats, you will go to the WoodSpoon platform and you'll be able to see all the home chefs that are available around you. We are selecting them based on availability and location and the dishes that they are making. Once you see those home chefs, you'll be able to select any kitchen you are crave and go to this kitchen to see what they cook. What's interesting about our platform is that you will be able to read about them, learn about them, see their kitchen, hear their story and understand why they cook and what they cook. Once you figure out that this is what you want to try, you just select the dishes you are ordering, add it into the cart, and purchasing it. From that moment, WoodSpoon will take care of everything for you. So we will take care of the packaging, the delivery, the payments, everything will be taken care of by WoodSpoon, and you will be getting this food to your door within 30 to 40 minutes, depends if the chef is available. You can also order it in advance. So it's kind of up to you and up to the chef, but that's the way we work.
So you're connecting people through food in a unique kind of way. Talk to us about what the response has been like.
Wow, the responses are amazing. Like people, I think that especially during the pandemic, when people stayed more at home and went less outside, they were looking to have those personal connections and were looking to have something that is different than what they used to have. We as people, we are as social human beings, and we wanna have those connections. And you can literally see the different communication between our customers and our home chefs. Once you order from a home chef and you decided that you love their food and you love the way they cook and it's healthy and it's good for your body and your family, you can start seeing communications between customers saying, hey, Chef Kevin, thank you so much for making this polenta last night. Can you make it next time a little bit less spicy and put the cilantro on the side? And then, Chef Kevin responds and say, yeah, no problem. And I also added my tiramisu that I'm testing out to see if I want to add it to my menu. Please let me know how it was. So, those type of communications and that you can only get on our platform. I think that's what makes us unique.
And also, I think one of the things that we can talk about is the fact of how it's a diversity of different dishes that you offer. I mean, I'm looking now and I think, if you're from Asia, the Middle East, whatever, you've actually got chefs to be able to meet a variety of different palates.
Yeah, if you are looking for those, yesterday we discussed, if you're looking for those gems, hidden gems within New York City, I think you will be able to find them on WoodSpoon. It's all those unique, specific dishes that probably you would not find in a restaurant because it needs to be cooked for 72 hours and no sane restaurants will make it. So, but someone will make it to you at home and that's what you can find in WoodSpoon.
Well, talk to me about this too, because many times there is this thing about being transparent about calories and then also being transparent about ingredients. And I know one of the things that you really specialize in is the fact that you have ingredient transparency. So for somebody who's watching, tell us what that means.
Yeah, when we started WoodSpoon, the first thing that we thought is that, we need to be as transparent as possible with our customers. They need to know, who they buying the food from, how it's been produced, what is inside their food. So the way we work is that every home chef, we build their own platform for the home chefs. So when they upload the dishes, part of the process is that we are asking them to basically sort out all the ingredients that they are using for this dish. And then we're just showing it out to the customers. So they know exactly what's in their dish, how it's made of, how long does it take, every information we can give those customers, we are giving in order to be as transparent as possible.
So how do you go about selecting a home chef? I mean, is there a arduous process in terms of getting these chefs on board?
Yes, of course, Daren, you can come work at WoodSpoon after this call.
No, you don't want me there. You'll go out of business there.
You're saying exactly the things you are thinking about. Yeah, we have a very thorough vetting process that home chefs are going through. We actually lucky enough to be sitting on a lot of home chefs that wants to join WoodSpoon, and we're lucky enough to be able to source and sort the ones that we mostly believe in. So there is a vetting process that takes approximately 3 to 4 weeks. This process includes kitchen inspection and food audition and onboarding calls and professional photographers that will go to their home to take the pictures of their food and of themselves and writing their stories. So there is a process, because we believe that, you know, once you decided to put your trust in us as a platform, you want to know that we did our job by making sure that you're going to get the best food you can in the safest way. So that's why we do it.
And so, in addition to what you do in terms of providing home-cooked meals and getting those meals by these certified chefs, I know you also have a special thing that you do for Holocaust survivors. So tell our viewers a little bit about how you're really, you know, giving services to Holocaust survivors.
Yeah, we are, you know, we're lucky enough to have a lot of very good people that supporting us, and along the way, we are volunteering in a lot of different locations. So we're just going to pack some packaged food for Holocaust survival, you know, one weekend, and then we start having this conversation saying, wouldn't it be cool if we could just use the pile of home chefs we have to literally donate meals to Holocaust survivors that will eat, you know, healthier, fresher, you know, better food than the packaged rice and pasta that we're giving them, you know, once a week. So we started to look around, and we actually formed a non-for-profit fund that basically this fund is used to support those Holocaust survivors. So we provide the meals free of charge. We're not making any dime of it. We actually kind of losing a little bit, but that's for a good cause. So we are helping, you know, Holocaust survivors around New York City and Brooklyn. We're working with several agencies, and we getting like really good feedbacks from them that, you know, that's a life-changing.
Yeah. And I know you talked about losing a little bit, but on the other side, though, you have been successful in raising more than $14 million. What's it been like for you seeing the success of your company go like that?
Yeah, you know, it's been a ride, and it's fun. It's fun. It's to start a business from an idea that, you know, you see and to see it grow the way we grow. And in the past year, we literally grew from like 5 people in the team to more than 30 right now. So it's been a fun ride. And, you know, all of us here have, you know, one mission. We want to support home chefs as much as we can. We want to help people to engage with home chefs, and we want to make, you know, homemade food accessible to everyone. So all of us here are working for this one mission, and I'm happy to see my team grow, and I'm, you know, looking forward to keep expanding within New York City. Bronx is next, so we are coming, and also outside. So that's the game plan.
It's awesome. Well, listen, I want to tell you so much. Thank you so much, Oren, for being with us, sharing about WoodSpoon, and we want to make sure our viewers are connected, and keep up the great work of, you know, making people happy through food, and then also what you continue to do for the Holocaust survivors. If you want to see your numbers go down, then invite me into the kitchen and let me do what I need to do. That's if you want to see the numbers go down. But if you want me to just, like, you know, support, let me just keep doing this for you. All right?
I will take this into consideration. Thank you so much. Download the mobile app or go to the website. We are available 24/7, and we will be more than happy to showcase our product.
All right, let me connect the people right now. If you want more information, do yourself a favor. Go visit their website at eatwoodspoon.com, and then follow them on social media at eatwoodspoon. We're done with the segment, but we're not done with the show. So we want you to stay with us. We do have more coming up on Open right after this. And welcome back. Inner City Scholarship Fund is seeking to provide tuition to students from low-income families who wish to attend an inner-city Catholic school within the Archdiocese of New York. Now, Inner City Scholarship Fund recently raised $2.5 million from supporters at the 50th anniversary celebration. Joining us now to share more details is the Executive Director of Inner City Scholarship Fund. We welcome back Susan George to the show. And Susan, glad to have you back, and congratulations.
Thanks, Daren. It's nice to be invited back. Thank you.
Well, of course, we got to bring it back. You had the great results. You had a great fundraiser, and it took place on September the 23rd. And did it meet your expectations?
Oh, it did. We typically have a fundraising event every year in December, and we decided this year to step away from tradition. So that was a 50-year tradition. We stepped away. We did the event in September. We actually did it in the Bronx at Wave Hill, which you know is a beautiful venue. And we had a really terrific celebration evening it was a great evening just to celebrate our 50 years. And, I'm sure you know, and your viewers know that not every charity makes it 50 years. So it's something we're very proud of. And it gave us time to reflect back on our founders and the vision for this organization and how we have really kept the vision alive, and again, something that my team is proud of, the Cardinal's proud of, and certainly our donors are just really the rock of this organization, not to mention the amazing administrators and principals of our schools and teachers and the families. But none of that would happen without our real loyal donor base.
Yeah. Show me a little bit about the exposure aspect, because when you have kids who come from low-income families, and they have the opportunity to go to a Catholic school and a school within the diocese, and not to have to worry about tuition. I can tell you, I think I told you before, I've been a direct recipient in my own life and the difference that it's made. But talk about what you feel the impact is for students who actually, and families who have this opportunity.
Well, I think for a family, you want to choose the best school for your child, right? A parent, you have young children, you say, okay, now they have to go to school, and the school in the neighborhood that you live in just might not be your choice, right? For many reasons. And to know that you have the option of a Catholic school in your neighborhood, and if that's what you want for your child, and you go in and you say, this is where I feel my child should go to school, but I can't afford the tuition. It's really nice. It's really nice to know that our organization can make that dream a reality for a family. And our families are so appreciative, as you know, Daren, and grateful. And I really think that we do our best to make every child who wants to go to a Catholic school to make that a reality.
Yeah. I know it's a really competitive process, but share with us about just whittling down and getting down to those persons that you're going to award scholarships to. How many applicants do you get versus how many scholarships are you able to award?
Well, you know what, we actually try to manage the expectations. We don't want to put parents on a waiting list that we're never going to get to. So I would say every year we probably have about 300 applications in our sponsorship program, and we try to award every one of those. And how we identify them, Darren, we have two programs for elementary schools, which I'll speak specifically to right now. Actually, there's three, but one is the Be a Student Friend program. You have to be in our school, and the principal will nominate you. So this is a student who has a sponsor who they write to the sponsor, they know the sponsor, they have to be in good academic standing. And usually it's a family that's committed to Catholic education and the parents are paying the tuition, and then a sibling comes along and the tuition becomes unaffordable, or there's a change in a job situation or a home situation, and we will take the student and we stay with that student until the day they graduate. And they have to get a letter of recommendation from their principal, and they have to be in academic good standing. And that's one program. Then we have another program called the Children's Scholarship Fund, where we partner with a third-party organization that administers it. And that's any child who's in a public school or coming to a Catholic school for the first time. They're eligible. They go to the Children's Scholarship Fund website, and we take all new students. And once you're in, that goes K-8. And then our organization takes them through high school. And that's a sliding scale. So based on the family income, we give them a scholarship award. And then the Archdiocese of New York also offers a lot of financial aid. So the message, Daren, is any family who wants to come needs to reach out, because we will do our best to help you make it possible. And we're very hands-on with families. If we say your award is $2,000 and a family comes back and says, you know what, I'm trying to make that work, but we're struggling, we do our best to give them more. So the message is, don't be put off by the tuition, because yes, we have to charge tuition. We don't get any state dollars. We don't get any federal dollars. We have to pay our teachers. We have to pay health insurance. We have to pay building costs. So we must charge tuition, but our organization does our absolute best to make that tuition affordable for families. So,
well, Susan, before we go, I just want to get the opportunity for someone who wants to apply. What is the application deadline now?
So our applications for this current year are closed. However, a family should go to innercityscholarshipfund.org and reach out to us, because again, if a family is just hearing this for the first time, we want to know who you are. Even if we can't help them this year, we get them on the list for next year. Our application process opens in February for all schools. Some of them open a little bit earlier. So yes, we have deadlines, that is true, but we're also willing to work with any family. So if you're watching this interview and you say, you know what, I'm not happy with my child's current school situation, and I want to go look at the neighborhood Catholic school, reach out to us and say, I saw Susan George on Daren's interview and I'm reaching out.
It might help out a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Well,
We're here for you. We are very, very family friendly.
Well, Susan, thank you. And congratulations. I mean, $50 million, that's a great amount of money to be able to raise and help students to be able to make it into school. Thanks again. And congratulations to you.
We're always happy to come on and send families our way, Daren. Thank you.
All righty. Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
You
Take
too
care.
now.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Now, if you want more information, what we want you to do is visit the website at innercityscholarshipfund.org. Follow them on Instagram at innercityscholarshipfund NYC. Well, we come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us, and most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, don't forget you can catch a recablecast on BronxNet's channel 67. If you have Verizon Files, that'll be channel 2133, or anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Also want to give a special shout out to all those who've been watching on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, as Open is being broadcast live simultaneously on the MNN channel. Now, if you want a brand new episode of Open, come back on Friday morning. My girl, Rena Valentine, she'll give you the best in arts and entertainment. Until then, I'm Daren Jaime saying take care, God bless, and most of all, keep this channel wide open. We hope to see you next time on this Wednesday, Thursday Open.